I do not disagree. Hopefully someone can get a nice big camera out and take some pictures of John. That's usually his role, as I'm sure you all know, dear viewers. The Sesquidistus are flowing nicely. Speedy movement up that far sideline. Working it well. Oh, cheeky high release into the hands of 74. Mael pops it up. That's a really nice upline cut, just squeezing it so that the defender stays on that back trailing shoulder. Oh, nearly didn't come off that one. High reaching grab just to make sure. Inside, finally, after a series of around breaks, they throw the inside shot, and that is très bon for the French team. Sesquidistus put their first point on the board, and that was much better work on the offense. Much more fluid. Connection seems to be there. First one a little bit clogged in the pipes, but that one, they've turned the taps on and it's just flowing out very nicely. So advancing to this stage of the tournament, both teams very happy. As I say, PuTi more of a mixture of the top men's and women's players. Well, I say men's, open players, male and female matching players. As I say, nice to see them out here. But of course, Sesquidistus more of a more established club. I believe went to World's Clubs in 2018 back in Ohio. Pulling out some of my knowledge from my my archives of my brain there. It's been a long time since we've commentated a game, so it's not quite as fresh perhaps, but get involved in the comments if you are enjoying this game so far, if you're supporting PuTi, who are of course one break ahead already as we see the rain come down, or are you shouting for Sesquidistus? Let us know. I want to hear some chat in the comments as I captain this ship, this broadcast by myself, but I can do it with charge. As we see the overthrow there redeemed, a nice shot immediately into that far front corner for the number 16. That is Vapu Ranaunen. And a nice, again, easy one for PuTi. A little bit speedier than Sesquidistus in terms of their offense. Perhaps able to slice through a bit better. And the pressure of the athletes of blue are trying to layer on here. So we've got a little bit of love in the comments for both teams, actually. Lots of French. I'm gonna try. I could try and translate some of this French. It's a. Well, I can definitely easily translate the ambicrep, which is comment Seski aller, because of course it's, well, aller is let's go. Nice, easy, low-hanging fruit. But I'd say there's probably a little bit of an unbalance. More people are. I'm getting corrected for my pronunciation. Oh, as that throw gets corrected and slapped into the turf. Beautiful defensive block by the player who's not on my roster sheet, so I'm going to say possibly one of our double ups, Martus or Noppenen. So PuTi, Rekola with the hammer over the top. Nice work indeed. Oh, what a saucy inside to Vestman. She doesn't even realize she's in the end zone. And it's a goal for PuTi. And they take a commanding lead, 4-1. So another very efficient D-line offense for PuTi. So Sesquidistus. So I don't know where this Sesquidistus has come from, but let's discuss what's happening right now. PuTi are taking this game by the scruff of the neck immediately, which, as we said, the conditions, rain starting to come down. There's not too much in the way of wind. It is present, but it's not anything that any of the players in the field at this level are not capable of dealing with. But certainly, if they can put themselves ahead whilst the weather is like this. And if it gets any worse, which it starts raining here, it basically doesn't stop for the rest of the day. We weren't expecting it to happen until 6 p.m, but the rain just wanted to come and give us that extra little bit of something for this Sesquidistus game. Oh, a big backhand huck. That's going to be beautifully chased down, but it's just so squeezy. Fair fight between the two players. A little pat on the back there. But great work. You love to see it. Travel call, though, on the first throw from PuTi. But Sesquidistus will need to get the disc back off of PuTi, who are currently leading 4-1. Put themselves out in front as I am joined by the beautiful Christina Obermeyer, racing from having played a game in some extremely fetching box shorts and some pink sliders. Welcome, Christina, to this game. We currently have PuTi out in front. They had a clean hole to begin with, but that is exactly what Sesquidistus needed. The foul's going to be cool, but still, it's exciting to see Pierre-Alexandre Moret getting the hand block. Oh, but it's going to be uncontested. A little bit too much of the palm there, trying to prevent the PuTi player.
Just what the doctor ordered for a second. Can he do the same play again cleanly?
He can't, and it's going to be Norponen. Oh, a lovely, lovely low throw there, using the full stretch of the pivot, and that is a full stretch flick. Oh, and just nearly macked in. A little action roll from Taku Kokkonen.
Putting one up there. Bit of a huck and D situation, but works. The Sesquidistus have to work down the whole field now to get that point, and nearly a second effort there as well.
And Sesquidistus have been gaining in confidence since that first break that PuTi snuck against. Sesquidistus, I guess. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've properly read French. I was explaining to the viewers, Christina, at the beginning of the stream that I wouldn't subject them to my terrible, terrible French. If anybody would like to become a conversational partner with me to improve my French, you can get me on my handles at DiscGal31 everywhere. Or I've recently started posting on Snapchat. That's also been fun.
Oh, really?
Different, getting down with the kids. But if you want to get involved with the comments of this game, please do. We'd love to hear from you, our lovely viewers, as we see PuTi going off to the races. But not to be. Bit of an overthrow, and their first really probably unforced error of the game.
A beautiful arcing shot there. Just got the eyes on the disc and stopped for reading it for a second, and then couldn't catch up with it anymore as it got quicker and quicker approaching the end zone. This is Sesquidistus' break now. Break chance.
Yes, indeed. The golden opportunity. Ooh. Bit of a have to step over the mark there on the far side. Just getting us back in play after the pick. or foul perhaps. Seemed to be a pick hand signal from the far side, but either way, getting us back in on 0. And a nice inside, sneaky one. Oh, and it's a big flick. John Kofi, the man who gave us the numbers that we'll put into our commentary source system imminently, and that's a low one, but it's a good one, and that is a goal. Benoit Lebon with the score, and that is a break right back for Sesquidistus.
John Kofi showing that he can't just fire shots near the pitches doing photography, but also fire some discs in to the end zone. Beautiful low release there, and that is exactly what Sesquidistus needed right now. Just a calm break. Also, they were in a bit of trouble on this far sideline, but managed to get out of it easily, and then change the direction of the whole defense, opening up the far space again. So, yeah, they worked tirelessly to get that break, and maybe they can put another one up. What do you think, Hanny?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the reason why they've made the stage of this, this quarterfinal matchup is because they've had to do some pretty great things on the way here. We will give you a little bit more of the flavor of the results, but thank you so much to all of our viewers who are trying to help me learn how to pronounce the name of this French club team. So, I'm going to try it again, guys. Sesquidistus.
Let me, what? Sesquidistus.
Sesquidistus. We'll go for it. Can we get the phonetic spelling, please, ladies and gents? As we see Essi Inkinen there, the number 30, such a famous player. Look at her throwing form. That is a golden dish, and there are 3 PuTi players ready to receive it. Either of them choose, and it's Raquel Hotari with the goal, and that is a beautiful, smooth hold for PuTi.
Inkinen, definitely a player to watch on that PuTi team. A lot of experience behind her as a player. Definitely a force to be reckoned with, and a beautiful put there, put into space with so much float that any one of 3 receivers could get under there. Well done on the PuTi side, and this is also what they needed now to score a quick goal, let their stars get the disc and get an opportunity to play their best now and stop the flow of Sesquidistus.
Ah, I finally nailed it. Thank you. Ambi Krep. I have now checked the comments stream.
Well done, Annie.
Oh, although, hi Ardi, nice to have you with us, dude. Try pronouncing the Pusan. You really gave me a challenge here, guys. If you're watching this game on a full screen setting and watching that beautiful put from Essi Inkinen back in slow-mo, and you're not checking out the comment stream, the banter this is probably the best comment stream we've had so far. So, top up to you guys as we see Vestman in the deep space of the pack, but it's going to be a little bit under, taking it away from Sesquidistus. Oh, but a costly error there. Those pink sleeves can't save you here, but it's going to be a high one. Going to need to be redeemed. Oh no, it's not. It just seems to sit and hang from Pierre Alexandre. I think that's Moret. John Kofi's handwriting's a little bit scratchy, a bit doctory here.
I didn't even realize what happened there. Crazy defense from PuTi. Just 2 defenders in the area for that shot to go up, and then a misthrow, and good composure for Sesquidistus to recognize that immediately and try to pop it in. And also the throw was very nice because it floated out quite a lot, so there was a huge amount of time for the players to collect it.
So the score currently 4-5, or 5-4 really, to be official and formal, and give the. She always should have the lead score first, but Sesquidistus still in this one for sure. We're having some nice trading after that initial break of score from PuTi, and Sesquidistus did get really close to it. But the Finns just still out a nose in front. And yes, apologies. I don't know why I had Sesquidistus in my brain as a pronunciation for the team from France. But hey, we're learning. We're all learning together.
Of course. That's the challenge when you're playing in a multinational tournament, European tournament. There's going to be names and team names you cannot pronounce, and we're learning.
Well, and you know, this is an open invitation. If you'd like to get yourself involved in some commentary, we're always looking for fresh talents. We can bring more people, and so we don't have to do 5 games of 7, sometimes 5 games in a row. That was me yesterday. No time to prepare in between. But we like to be here. We love to be here as we see this mixed action in front of us on the field, and it is hot, hot, hot. Essie Inkinen gets a little bit of a bump as she comes through from her match up.
Thought for a second there whether to call her a foul or not, but remember that just saw that the defense was in front. She wasn't gonna get there before her. Sesquidistus have it again now.
So on the attack, but look how close these defenders are, and there comes the bid soaring through Elkanini.
What a beautiful layout there. Waited enough, gave him a little space and was always ready to get in between there. Red zone for PuTi now.
Oh, and it's over the top. It's huge. What a throw that was. A beaut. And PuTi put another one past their opponent. Still trading though, still keeping it alive. Just that one out in front. PuTi did start this game on offense, but this past half is rolling by before we can hardly breathe. 24 minutes expired on our game clock. These rounds of course lasting 90 minutes here, with just a 10-minute gap between games, which is causing some slight issues. These games are hotly contested, going down to the wire. Several universe point finishes on this live stream, bringing you wall-to-wall coverage until the very end of the tournament.
I don't mind a good universe.
So Christina, I have a question for you, because you are playing, you're pulling double duty here in Bruges.
Indeed I am.
How is it playing on these fields? Because they look pretty soggy.
Well, they are. They're a bit slippy, they're a bit soggy. We didn't have too many slips today, but yesterday under the light there were a few times where players just wanted to make an object line cut and just fell flat on their faces. Of course it's funny. I would love for it not to happen though, of course. But I think right now, like,
taken away by the ground.
oh, so the ability to make a layout grab and still get that disc.
And a wide open target in the end zone makes no errors. PuTi do indeed get their second break of this game now. So that's 7-4 the score. Our scoreboard needs a little bit of an update, but our camera crew are on it, pulling all of the button duty today, trying to get things sorted here on this mixed game.
I'm pretty sure that PuTi have scouted Sesquidistus at some point. because they really stopped those deep shots quite a few times already. We've seen that 2 or 3 times that 2 players were in the area for that deep shot to come out immediately after centering the pole. They searched to punch it deep, but there was always a lot of coverage from the PuTi side. So I think what Sesquidistus needs now is change up your system. Maybe go in a host deck, or just have 2 cutters, so people have to decide whom to cover. If you want to prioritize covering this short or prioritize the deep cut, but give them angles.
Well, PuTi are certainly making short work of this game. As I say this, but about nearly half an hour has expired on this game, and we are almost, well, if PuTi score this one, it's going to be going into the second half, because of course half at 8 these games to 15 here in these 90-minute time slots on the field. But looking at some of the other results coming in for this quarter-finals round of the mixed division, of course, the winner of this game will advance to the semis, and they will be playing, if I can find the correct side of this Ultimate Central bracket, they'll be playing the winner of Game H, and that is Guayota versus Salaspils mix. Salaspils, of course, previous championships at the European level. Guayota, perhaps underestimated by some coming into this tournament, but had a spicy comeback yesterday on the live stream at the late game stage, the 7 o'clock slot, which I think today no one's really going to be wanting to play, because it's going to probably be fairly grisly, fairly unattractive weather. But that ball's going to float out of bounds as we see the PuTi player, I think that's Jokinen, Anna Jokinen, wearing the fetching German ultimate cap. And I want to say she is a German import to the side place for, of course, the women's team that we mentioned earlier. Big one over the top. Aslan. All the way across. Petit tour. Oh, a little stumble there on the far one. Tosses it back.
They definitely managed to open up the field a lot and swing it from one side to the other.
Nice gainer there. Oh, and that's a lovely, lovely put indeed, but it's not going to quite be effective. A shame, Laurie Petitot trying to get it down, but just too much of a squeeze on that far sideline.
Definitely, and what both teams, in my opinion, have to work on is giving your receiver a chance. These shots are coming in super blady. People are so quick, but in these conditions, those shots have to be thrown with a bit of love and a lot of float so that you can run under them. Both sides will have to improve on that, and I'm pretty sure they have the ability to do that.
Investment, far side. Again, we're seeing a lot of action on that far sideline. And now that I see, it's the mud on the back of that shirt. So we see a call, travel call, well before that one that turned over. It is, I believe, going to have to come back.
I believe so too.
Bit of a shame there for Sesquidistus, of course. But yeah, so the back of the shirt of Jessi, and I'm going to try my best to pronounce this, but Sastamoinen. But great bids, great rundown of that disc that just came out a bit too feisty. But after the turnover, let's say that earlier travel call, bring us back to neutral standing before the infraction. So Vestman again, that far sideline, squeezes it down, a little bit more conservative this time. Really be looking to see PuTi try and use the expansive side of the field. That is a great way to do it. Inka Vestman, very tall, but there is going to be a core, bit of touchy between the offside handler looking for that dump because of the intensity of the marking.
Might have been some of those slippy, from the slippy surface as well, granted from it. But solved quickly, and the disc will stay with the receiver on the very far side of the field.
Love the use of hand signals, coming in on 4. So mid-stall count. Nice one to Jesse. Looks for the around, but nobody else seems to be interested in it until at long last. Slice through. Oh, what an absolute snatch from Inka Vestman.
Bit of a collision in the middle there, but great grab from Vestman, keeping the disc alive for that slice through up the line. Disc will stay with her as well and come back in.
So Vestman to Jokinen. And Jokinen rips a massive one. There's going to be a pack of players underneath that. And what insane hops. Pirol there with the huge grab. Oh no! What? Oh, that's so sad.
That is very unfortunate. Beautiful defense there, but just couldn't quite hold on to that wet disc.
I felt that one. I felt that one in my soul. I'm so sorry that happened. Just the devastation there, but just about managing to get the block. And after the just fluster concentration error, just a bit of a, it is so slippery out there on this field. It's hard to cut and it's hard to catch, and a timeout's going to be called to give both sides a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, Vestman just the disc slipping through her hands. We might see a delayed reaction to those conditions now. It has been raining for quite a while, but only now have players been making mistakes with not catching the disc, not grabbing it securely at times. We'll see how that affects the rest, because a lot of this is due to concentration, and 90 minutes is a long time, and having to check in and out for points now and again. It's really hard to get stay focused and stay composed for that long amount of time, even if you are a player as renowned and experienced as Vestman or any of the both teams. And especially during the last 2 years, there wasn't a lot of opportunity for players to work through that, to stay focused for 1.5 hours. And I think players have adapted very well during this tournament, but there's always more improvements to be made on that part.
Well, as someone who had to focus for 5 goes at an hour and a half yesterday with no breaks, I can definitely tell you an hour and a half of mental focus, let alone running yourself ragged, trying to keep up with very athletic individuals that you're trying to, either prevent from doing good things or get around to do good things. It's not easy. But that's the beautiful thing about some of these players, making it look easy here on the fields. But again, just that, as you say, that lack of focus, it's really hard out here on the fields. Kokkonen. Oh, and that is another beautiful put. It's going to be for Vestman all day long. They really like to throw to her. And to be honest, I'm not going to throw any shade on PuTi for doing that. I wish I could play with Inka Vestman, because I would like to throw her biscuits like that just as much.
If I have a player like her, who always has someone she can sky on her, I would definitely use that and use that more even.
Abuse, use and abuse it. So talking of secure things, to segue from yours about the securing catches. So PuTi's record coming into this quarterfinal match, they are unbeaten, undefeated, 15-10 versus Kufum Orbro in that first game that we tried to stream, but unfortunately couldn't quite. But it's nice to see some action from PuTi here in this quarterfinal stage. They again 15-11 versus catch-up mix, 15-11 versus Puk, 15-13 versus Leftovers. So Leftovers the closest game thus far, but pretty nice margins at the end of the games for the Finnish side. Looking at Sesquidistus, a little bit of a different story. We had an early game, which actually I think this final score didn't get put in because it seems to be 10-10, which of course you can't have in an ultimate matchup, but ultimate central results here available. Sorry, take that back. It wasn't 10-10, it was 12-10, sorry, a loss against Flow. Again, my screen not quite working out, but some wins as well against Flying Rabbit, UFO, and Mainz Colorado, putting them into this quarterfinal just a bit late. We're going to take a quick break for this ad. We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events. So we're back, and we were going through some of the results before we snuck in our little break to thank our sponsors. But just to finish off this, Christina, as we say, there's some we misannounced what the score differences were, sorry, but it was 15 points on the winning side for all of the PuTi games. In fact, they actually smashed more of them, so 8, 10, 6 and 14, sorry, the differences between the other games. But as I say, Sesquidistus had a much harder go at things.
They definitely did, but they have been tested and know how it feels like to be down in a game and come back as well. They definitely know that they can fight through this, and PuTi will have to put up all they have against the Sesquidistus team as the pool gets centered, and we'll see another point on O for Sesquidistus. Okay, looking deep, really thinking about it, looking reset now, and beautiful pop up the line. There's a poach in the open side, and they're using that quite well, pulling it out there. The near side now. PuTi's doing a great job at shutting that down, but there the break option gets through. Gal with the desk. Huge fakes, and he's getting his reset once again. Big gainer on the break side. Another one, now they're nearly in their red zone, and quick stoppage for a pick there. Quite a bunch of players colliding, gathering in the middle of that field. Just a bit of a discussion when the stall count will come back in. Players are probably happy they can get a bit of a break there. Take a deep breath and get back in. Oh, and after that stoppage, they threw it away, but it looks like there's going to be a foul called on that play. Galwelth with the disc, and immediately accepted it. The PuTi player did, and now they're looking end zone. Getting through up the line and shooting through the middle for the goal. What a nifty throw that was. It looked like it went all the way through the stack to the other side. Beautiful put, weighted, into the end zone for the receiver to shoot, and only her to get underneath that and collect that for the score.
A little bit of spicy throwing. We love to see it. We love our creativity, giving us as commentators exactly what we want. Because Christina and I, we favour a good spicy throw.
We do, we definitely do.
We'll get another look at that as well. As you see, I really like the activity on the marks for the PuTi side.
Look at that, how low he goes.
Woof. Gail Ancelon, the number 7 for Sesquidistus, one of the captains of this side, if Ultimate Central is to be believed.
Definitely a rather well-known French player.
Pretty well known, yeah. C'est magnifique, the commenters say, our viewers.
Oui, oui.
Can you parler français?
Oui, un petit peu.
Un petit peu, ouais.
Un petit peu de français.
Of course,
yeah, my French
if you want to help us get some more non-English commentary, because let's be honest, we like to speak other languages where we can and make sure that, you know, the most coverage can reach far and wide around the European nations and be a bit more spicy, then please do get in touch with us. We're always looking for more people to jump on the microphone and show their stuff, as these players in front of us show us their stuff.
Interesting setup there from PuTi. 3 people in a house stack in the end zone, 4 handlers back, but now Inkinen with the disc. Watching up to line to Lino. Just in front of their end zone now. Looking at cuts, and there's a pick call again. There've been quite a few picks.
They certainly have, but they're all playing very, very tight match defense.
Definitely.
And it's that thing of they're kind of slicing across each other. Everyone's trying to grind, move really hard. I really like this spacing at the moment.
I agree. They're in kind of a house stack, and trying to isolate players there and doing a good job at that. PuTi are, as we can see, the up the line will not be thrown. Goes to Revisa to Inkinen instead. Inkinen is looking end zone, just not quite in there. Oh, and just a quick pop into the end zone for a score. They worked hard, but they were composed doing it.
Indeed, Maialeno there with the goal for PuTi. Nice little jink. And they're putting themselves in charge. PuTi well out in front, as is saying, capping out the soft cap in every single one of their matches ahead of this quarter-final game. Looking at the rest of the division, we have Guayota, who are down 4 points to Salaspils, mixed of Latvia. We have the Hrut game on the other live stream, 9-7 over there on the score reporting with Ultimate Central, and Kufum Orbro Frisbee mixed against Flow of Wroclaw. I'm totally mispronouncing that Polish town, but 5-5 leveled up there, so that is probably the most intense scoreline we have at the moment in these mixed quarterfinal matchups. I'm not surprised to see that scoreline. Those two teams probably fairly well matched, Christina.
I agree. Also, catch up and Krut might be a good game to watch back eventually. Don't leave us here. But I think even the quarterfinals look like they could all be semi-final matches, and that's what we see here. A lot of very tight games on that European stage. As Sesquidistus isolated player very well. But then in a huge layout attempt, but sticky fingers there from the Sesquidistus side. Broken around, back into the middle, Anslan. Oh, and what a put into the break side, another inside flick there, tight defense. Sesquidistus at their red zone now. A lot of players around, and clap catch in the break side. Very well done there. looking reset, and she gets it as well. Now they're looking end zone. Very static stack, isolating one player at a time. Very consequent cutting there from Sesquidistus.
Oh.
Aslan gets it, and a huge gainer in on their break side, but there's going to be a pick. The player will stay with the disc there, but PuTi will be able to catch up. Oh, another flick. Just in front of the end zone, kept her feet in there.
Love the spirit from the sideline. Immediately the PuTi player saying it's in.
Definitely well done there. Aslan, will we see another nifty throw? Now goes further around, reset. Oh, and another inside shot for goal.
Shot for goal.
Shot for goal, as Steph Rapazzo would say now. Definitely stole that phrase, but I really love it.
Yeah, the captain Pierre-Alexandre Monet bringing in that score for Sesquidistus. And we've had a call out on the live stream, Christina, asking us to do commentary in French. Do you believe that we can speak French that well? Thank you for the compliment, but we'll politely decline.
Definitely can. Like, I can understand a lot of French. So if you talk to me in French, I can reply in English and would have understood most of what we were saying, I guess. But not so much with the talking part. Your grammar is just so confusing, and I don't want to get it wrong. I really do not.
Which language do you speak, Christina, predominantly?
German. My main language is German. I can also do English a bit.
A lot. I think you can do English a lot. Hats off to you, my buddy.
Thank you very much.
Commentating in your non-native tongue. She can do it all. She can throw hucks. She can get blocks. She can commentate in her non-mother tongue.
And that's it.
She's got talents elsewhere, but we'll talk about those later as we see the talents of potentially Essi Ikonen on display. The person you never want to see having the disc. But I tell you what, that's commentator's curse and a half. Just a complete lack of spin on that disc.
Definitely did not. I'm not accustomed to see that from Ikonen, but every star gets one mistake a game.
She
got hers out
human.
Here
flesh and blood she's made, but there you go, Leno with the hand block.
Trust your teammates.
Yup,
we'll come back.
Sideline getting loud next to us to try and get the disc back. There was an error from Ikonen, but Leno just makes sure. Nice work on the far sideline, punches it in. Niini. High clap from Sandberg. Oh, and Ikonen is squeaking it in. Not quite good for the goal. Bit cool.
Tight defense there from Sesquidistus, just laying out just inches away from that disc. And PuTi just in front of their end zone.
Manon de Palma was on the mark against Essi Ikonen, and there is the turnover. Sesquidistus. Big fake sent a flying defender. Niini really believed that that huck was coming out, went to a star jump to try and block it.
I believe that would have really come out. I would love them to throw that. Like, I would definitely.
Way more spicy than is required. They just have to sink this one in. Kofi. Little bit less believable fake, that one. Not enough snap.
Just a little bit.
You see the hand. Oh, just a slip there. The field giving. Oh my goodness! I tell you what, PuTi giving all the bids as Kofi tries to get the jump over into the end zone, knocking on the doorstep of this break. I say that's a break. It's a hold. Oh, the swagger and the confidence of just the hold of that disc. Great stuff. Seski nearly there. Just need one more cut to put it in solidly. Oh no! It's low, but it's not good.
One too many of those inside shots. They have been working out so well for the Sesquidistus side, but this one now, just angling the wrong way. He was probably in a high stall situation as well. Could just not quite get that out.
It looks like a timeout's being called. I like this timeout, but I have a slight feeling it might end up being a turnout, Christina. What are your thoughts?
I agree. PuTi has not been too well in getting back into a game after a quick stoppage at the field. We've seen that quite a few times, that there was a bit of a pick call or a stop and flow, and after that they didn't click. They just had a bit of a miscommunication here and there, and I really hope that it won't happen again for them, because that'll definitely be a thing they have to work on, and why not do it now? But it is an offensive point for the PuTi side. They have been fighting far too long for their liking, I'm sure, to get that point. And conditions will not get better too.
Nope, they're not. The rain is not easing up. If anything, it's getting worse. Not quite, I think, to the level of becoming an ASMR soundtrack to ease you off to sleep at night with our dulcet tones here on this live stream. Field 3, action in the mixed division. Updates elsewhere around the tournament site. We, of course, have our other live stream game, which last score reporting on Ultimate Central was at 11-7. Hut over catch-up mix. Kufum Hobro versus Flow. The Polish side still at 5 apiece, so that one turning into a bit of a meat grinder. Of course, us here 9-6. And Huayota versus Salisbury's mix still again at 8-4. So we'll bring you updates as we feel like them. But PuTi now getting us back in Nini. Has the deep shot available. That is not an attractive put at all. And it's going to be picked off nicely.
I think John Kofi got a hand on there. I heard something smack. I hope I'm right, because that was an amazing hand block. Definitely what Sesquidistus needed in that moment.
He's going to feel that one in the morning. That is for sure. That disc still went very far. So you see the spicy fakes coming through. Oh, and he gets it back. There's a little look. Kofi giving himself the opportunity to have a think about it. I like it. He's looking and he's thinking, and he's going to retract it. No call to be made. Excellent spirit.
Yep,
John
definitely.
Kofi using the stoppage appropriately. I love to see it. Great spirit, and Inkinen picks up the disc. Has Jokinen available, doesn't like it. Chooses the centering pass instead. Over far side, Tommy Sandberg. Back across, Sivo. Hotari to Inkinen. Everyone looking very static. You can see how close that release of that inside backhand would have been. It's a roll curve backhand to absolutely nobody. What incredible defense from Sesquidistus.
Sesquidistus did not give PuTi a chance to get that into the end zone, covering the dump space as well as the end zone space. There are no other chance for Inkinen than to put up a Hail Mary shot that did not connect. And now Sesquidistus at this maritime point shooting it, but it will not get back in, and that is a get out of jail free card for PuTi there.
It is out of there. Coming in, relatively short field opportunity for PuTi here. It'd be nice to see them just find a bit more continuation. I think that's probably what was missing from PuTi now. They were so slick at the beginning of the game. Later stages starting to lose a bit of focus. But they're so capable at scoring when they're firing. And this Sesquidistus side really causing some issues. Good, solid around. Jokinen's going to have to bid that. Oh, just manages to bounce it out of her hand. What a great attempt, though. Takes about an inch of dirt with her as she runs away.
Definitely that shirt will not get white again.
That's the problem of playing in white. It goes see-through in the rain and picks up all the dirt. Who would play in white? I mean, really. Oh my goodness, though, what a poach block. Does it cleanly as well. Great heads up. Great composure, centre of gravity held. That's some core strength working out for the number 94 for Sesquidistus. Good movement now. Oh, that low release around is gorgeous. Looking around. Oh, that's going to be snaffled up by the offensive reception. I thought that was D for sure.
I did not believe in the Sesquidistus player too, but he definitely proved me wrong there.
Absolutely roofed him. Oh, the big comes, but it unfortunately can't quite connect. Great effort from Manon there.
Definitely seems a bit rushed now. Both teams just want to punch it in and get that point over with. It really has turned out to be a marathon point for both sides.
And it's kind of nice to see, though. We want to see Sesquidistus getting back into this game after PuTi were so quite handy at the beginning of the match. They came out strong, firing on all cylinders. The weather disappeared for a bit, but oh my goodness, what a block. Benoit Lebon getting in there and preventing the PuTi connection.
Definitely an indoor shot there.
And this is what Sesquidistus needs. They need this goal right now. They're suffering a 3-point deficit. This would mean the comeback train might be starting its engine here in this quarter-final action in the mixed division. Nice moving it across, conservative play, a little bit low on that one, but not too much to be caught. Having gotten the deal, Lebon puts that around. Coffee, high one, but it's okay, just had enough time to bring it down. Shoots it in, again a little low, but all okay. And number 51. Oh, and a flat shot to nobody.
Bit of a discussion there as players, all of them stopped. But Hani, this is not only important for the score, but also definitely a character point here. Whoever gets through this fight on top will come up on this in the second half with all the flow, all the motivation.
Absolutely.
And this will be sent back as well.
So the hinge point of the game coming into the hands of Marine Rollin. Finally found her on my roster sheet. But this is indeed becoming quite the point for these two sides. Look, they'll both be looking forward to having a bit of time off afterwards. Pretty evenly matched in terms of roster size, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. Big teams, loads of legs for a 4-day tournament here.
Loads of friends. We like to make friends here in the ulti.TV world. If you want to be our friend and sponsor our stream, give us more hands at the tiller, more consistent Wi-Fi, better coverage, more games, more fields, more waterproofing. We've got some very attractive poncho game going on for our lovely cameramen and women. Then you can become a patron. Go to ulti.TV for all the details, or see the descriptions in our links and on our page. Ooh, I thought that throw had gone. Roland goes off to the races, but it's going to be in a round to Lebon. Just looking for options. High stall bailout to Marion Saint-Jean. Oh, it's a big high one. Not sure that's exactly what she intended to throw, but bit of friendly fire.
They were extremely patient on that point, especially in that red zone, Sesquidistus, but just that last shot, wanting it too early, wanting too much maybe, and PuTi will take a second time out. Is it the second one in this point?
I think you're right, Christina. I think it is the second time out in this single point. I haven't been keeping track of turnovers because I just don't have the mental fortitude. However, this game, this point, as you say, it's got to be maybe like 4 or 5 turnovers each. I don't know. If you're watching this one back on YouTube later, you can count them. Put it in the comments. Let people know. But we're going to take a brief break during the second half time. Be back after this.
The ultimate. The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ulti.TV.
We are back after this time out. PuTi with the disc at their end zone line, looking to go all the way to the other side of the field. Lino with the isolation gets the disc, doesn't see any option she likes, has to go reset. Fakes Inkinen, goes back around though, now in the middle of the pitch. High disc received. A lot of movement there from the PuTi side. Doesn't even look like they've been playing a marathon point. They're fired up. They really want to get that. A beautiful around shot now on the near side of the field. And he throws it over to the end zone and collects it for that score. And this is what we know of PuTi. Composed and quick cuts. Just getting those discs. But what a fight by Sesquidistus. And although PuTi did get that score, that was an offensive point for them. And PuTi really challenged them. Sesquidistus really challenged PuTi, of course.
But it is indeed the breakout score, and I absolutely adore that throw. It sits and it hangs. He sees the fact that Raquel Hotari has the separation. Doesn't need much, but the release point on it, the fact that it was a break, it just, that was sensational.
Also this time they waited for the receiver to get a few more yards in, and then the disc floated as well. They didn't try to shoot it directly at the person, but put it into space for the receivers to run under it. And especially with those conditions, it can be tough to grab a disc at its edge. So rather let your receivers run under them and collect them with a clap catch. Very well done from the PuTi side to get the focus back in that timeout. A second one they burned, but it was very necessary, as we have talked about before. And now it's on Sesquidistus to get a hold in.
Absolutely. How Sesquidistus respond to that marathon epic point is so crucial in this moment. You see a big ripper going up off the hand of Pierre-Alexandre Monet, and it's ripped down. There we go. Laurie Petitot with the goal, and you can see how much that means to this Strasbourg side.
Petitot has been one of the most important players for the O-line of Sesquidistus for quite some time, and now receiving that disc directly in the end zone. I thought he jumped a little early, but he stood up there in the air for such a long time, making sure to grab that disc with two hands. What a beautiful break throw that was to get that disc, and that is also what Sesquidistus needed, a quick score and keeping PuTi up.
And I really like what we refer to as the hockey assist there. The off the hand of Gaël Ancelon, I think. That one, that nice inside shot sets it up and allows that big ripper to be released. So we've seen the O-line fire up. Now we need to see something special from the D-line of Sesquidistus. See if they can G up. Fans in the chat getting excited. And Clip still having a great day, enjoying this stream. If you're enjoying this stream, get yourself into the comments. Consider becoming a patron of Ultimate Arts. You can see John Kofi nodding to the side of me. He wants you to sign up and become not a basic member, maybe even a greatest member.
Definitely, we would love that. And if you for whatever reason do not consider that, at least give us a like. It really doesn't hurt you to click the like button on that YouTube.
Do the triple: like, share, hit the bell for notifications.
And follow ulti.TV on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a quadruple then.
Yeah. definitely. Loads of little things you can do there to help us out.
It's like when you're listening to a podcast and they say, take the time to write us a review. Share us with your friends. Get together.
Make a party out of it. Yeah, definitely.
So,
disc is on the far side now, trapped. Looking for options, but great defense there from Sesquidistus. As we've seen Reunanen now with the disc. Looking for an option, puts it back into the middle. And they've easily switched sides now, PuTi. Gainer up the field and back into the middle. And they're already looking end zone, but apparently the PuTi player didn't get the memo. The disc was in the air. He
I
was
like
not.
that. Didn't get it wasn't CC'd in on the email, you know, they didn't get the memo. And unfortunately, I think 95 is one of the few. No, Etienne Michon. Sorry, there we go, with the defensive play for Sesquidistus.
Laying out and making sure that this disc will not be finding the hands of the PuTi player by mistake.
So Chevreau getting us on the way. This Michon with the fakes takes the easy one. There we see number 78, Céline Antoine, matching up against Inkeden. I've been enjoying watching those two battle it out here. Both strong cap game. In fact, they've got a lot of fashion choices that matching here, but apart from the gloves, off to the races. What an explosive cut that was to absolutely break free. Oh, nice shot there. Yep, I'm going to say that's a good match for SE Inkeden for sure. Good cuts, good throws. And that is a beautiful throw into space. Visionary stuff. Great cover from PuTi as Guillaume Chevreau is just shy of the goal line.
Sesquidistus is definitely making a great use of their inside and around breaks. Releasing the disc as soon as they get it in their hands. Making sure that PuTi can't set up a mark. Bit of a violation here, and the disc will be checked back in just in front of the end zone.
Guillaume.
Sesquidistus fakes the inside shot, won't give it, goes to the middle of the field and throwing over a backhand pass to the forehand side of the field, giving it away. I'm pretty sure it was a high stall count situation and he wanted to give that disc enough float for his receiver to run under, but he did just a bit too much there. Wanted it too much in Inkeden now with disc in hand.
Bringing us back in, Antoine the mark, but gets around her, squeezing down that sideline. There is separation in the deep, so that's going to fade beautifully and nicely straight into the hands of Tauko Vannanen.
What a throw. That was beautifully executed. Just enough float on it for the receiver to read it all the way and securely get it into his hands in the end zone.
And so hard to execute that throw. We talk about the field, or some coaches like to talk about the field as a hot dog. So if you can imagine, if you've got a bird's eye view of the field in front of you, from you're stood at the sort of end of one end zone looking towards the other. If you imagine the pitch as a giant hot dog, you've got buns on either side and a sausage in the middle. You know, bratwurst, hot dog, whatever your sausage of choice. But the whole point is that it's really hard to throw within the same third. So if you're stood on the left-hand side of your hot dog, your bun, it's difficult to hit a target where your receiver intended, you know, opportunity is in that same third as you. But that was that exact setup, but the disc was so nice. It just sat and hung and faded gently. Easy to read, very, very hard to execute those.
Yeah, definitely a great play from the PuTi side, and definitely what they needed to, because there's been a lot going on both sides, defensively and offensively, and getting a goal like this quickly is really important for them to close out the game, and also to
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's also the fact of, because they put themselves out in front early, This is the thing. Punching those in really demoralizes the opposition here as well. It's much harder to come back. Every time Sesquidistus seems to get a bit of momentum, seems to be taken away. So 34 there with the pull though. Ronnie Hotari, I wonder if he is in any way, shape or form related to the number 55, who's been going to work for PuTi as well. However, going to work right now, Petito puts it across. Monet, I believe one of the captains of this side. I love the hammer fake coming out of Gael Onslan.
I really thought he would throw that already.
Still,
turned my head.
Inside. He's thrown so many of them. Oh, a big old piece on that throw, just enough and making it good. Of course, it's a number 19, Jesse Satamoinen.
He might have just caught the head of his offensive player there. Looks like he's shaken up a bit. Can't stand up, but seems to be fine. He will not take an injury either. He will stay on the field and play on. What a play from the PuTi side to get that disc down the field, down on the field.
Absolutely.
Making sure that there's a talent.
Stepping up to the mark. We have PuTi on the attack. Big old stumble there near side this disc. The pitch is getting very, very slippery as the wind and the rain have been battering this game all the time. Hotari thinks about the inside. You can see a little jinking movement in his hips. Easy one around. Casual throw for Merituri Rekola. Although, really enjoying the replays. We're since I've got your comments open, I get to watch this game sort of on a little bit of delay. I get to watch some highlights and then watch them a couple of minutes later. But Rekola, oh, big old bid from the mark. And a nice saucy inside, just make sure clasps the disc to her chest, but there is a injury call. The number 74 for Sesquidistus, unfortunately. Naël Baratan, they're putting it all on the line to try and prevent the pass.
She looks very shaken up here. Try to lay out, get a defense on that here, and we can see that that does not look like a nice landing there. Probably got pressed out of the air, pressed all the air out of her.
She did land quite balanced. I like the form on this. So there is, obviously she's hit hard on the hips, but at least both the shoulders are in sort of a level pattern. I think you're right. It's probably a case of hopefully a winding rather than anything else. Hopefully it's just a case of knocking the fluff out of her. But we can stitch her up and put it back together like a teddy bear.
Definitely. She also got up by herself and is on the sideline now.
But what a hero bid, though. That's what you have to do. This is the business end of the tournament. We are in knockout bracket play. And with the state of the fields, it may well be that only the top teams will get to play out the rest of the tournament. Not what you want, but hey-ho. After a strange 2 years, it's just good to be back here on the fields on this live stream.
You just have to take whatever games you can get, and if that's only watching games, I'm fine with that as well. Although I would love to play, of course, but rather than not having any games, I'm fine with watching good ultimate semis and quarters and everything.
I think it has to be said. Not only do you get to watch games, but you'll get to watch games from one of the best seats in the house.
Probably the best seat to be a spectator / commentator, of course.
It's true, because we have cones in front of us to stop people from getting in our way. There's none of that down in front nonsense, none of that, you know, not being able to do what you want. But it's time to step up, I think, for Sesquidistus. They have been giving us a good level of defense. They're causing PuTi some problems in the latter stages of this game, but they've got an extra gear, I think.
We can see that the fun surely hasn't gone out of this match as Gael Ansons tries to blow that disc away on the out of bounds. It would have always been out of bounds, but probably him breathing it out just made a bit of a difference there.
And so as we get so close to the time cap in this game, as the next round will start at 2 o'clock, but that's going to be a distant memory by the time this game finishes. That was a lovely, lovely disc going straight into the hands of, I think that looks like Gael Ansons.
Definitely was Gael Ansons cutting away from the handler side immediately, initially not getting that shot, but then being the perfect bailout option, and that is exactly what I meant before, like tons of points before I said give your receiver a chance. That was giving your receiver a chance. It was angled, the shot came out with a bit of an outside edge, but trailed just enough for Ansons to get that disc into his hands, secure it nicely. Beautiful grab.
So with time expiring, that's exactly what you want. You want to have a nice, slick, 1-2 pass offensive point. Now the D line comes out for Sesquidistus. They got to do something pretty funky, pretty fun to knock PuTi off their 4-point perch. Will we see it?
They have to fight back in. I'm sure they won't give up without a fight, honestly, Hani. I think they can definitely get back in there, fire themselves up, but they really need this now. This is time to shine for the Sesquidistus side.
All to play for in this quarterfinal matchup. The winner will advance, we can confirm, to play Salis Spils, the Latvian former champions. Who will it be? Will it be PuTi in the white, or will it be Sesquidistus in the blue? Essi Inkinen picking up. Doesn't like the look of Leno in the isolated space. Goes for Hatari instead. Nice inside backhand. Beautiful stuff. Big backhand on the other side. And that is money shot in the bank. Erkanini with the goal. A little bit camaraderie there. John Kofi just being such a nice dude, left, right and center.
This is one of the things I love about Ultimate, Hani. You don't, if there's a fight for this point, and the defensive player, instead of being angry, congratulates the offensive player for a point well played. I really love that.
Absolutely. So 13-8 now, the score on the field in front of us. And it's, I'm gonna say, it's a big ask of Sesquidistus at the moment, with the firing of the offense of PuTi to try and claw their way back into this match.
Definitely. I was just gonna say they have to ramp up their defense a little bit. As much as I loved seeing that point, it looked a bit too easy, just a bit too far away on the defensive side there. But also very well played from PuTi.
Well, as we said, they did come into the match the favourites. They haven't managed to have any opponents keep them from scoring 15. We might see this for the first time in the tournament. It is possible that Sesquidistus will prevent them from reaching the full 15 stretch. However, it will depend on the outcome of this point. If they can punch it in and the time expire, it may well happen. So we see with the disc. And it's a big roll curve shot across the pack, nearly scooped up. You can see the frustration by Maëlle Barental. She hits the ground saying, oh, I had a read on that.
I could have gotten there. There's pinned directly into the stack for someone to collect that. There was so many players under that the possibility was rather high, but it's PuTi's disc now once again, and another pick is called.
Do you think they would have deserved to pick up that last one, Sesquidistus?
I really do, but I'm always rooting for the underdog, of course.
Oh, we just want the game to go on for as long as possible, right?
Definitely. And it's not over yet. They'll have to punch it in. They have to get that last goal. This is how it works. In
That is
Ultimate,
true. You have to finish the game by scoring the last point. It's what makes it great. So, pick on the field. So we saw Emil Vodeman pop it back. definitely quite chilly out here on the fields in Bruges. But one of the nicest European cities to come to. We're here on the fields that normally host the Tom's tourney. Be nice to see that one coming back as we see Ultimate being able to be played again after that strange couple of months. Well, I say couple of months, it is a big stretch of pandemics and lockdowns and whatnot. But this is not a locked down offense here for Sesquidistus. They are moving it nicely across the field. Arsenal, oh, a little bit of stumble there. Coming back in after a unforced travel. Couldn't help it. The pitch is now becoming a slip and slide. You can really see that center of the field where the vertical stacks are setting off. She's getting torn up by these players. Arsenal looks around for resets, eventually finds Petito. Oh, it's a saucy inside biscuit, and that is a goal for Sesquidistus.
No, the PuTi player just got her hand on it to
there we go.
get in between.
I've got a bunch of people in raincoats sat on my view, so I couldn't quite see it, but there is the block.
It was a beautiful block there, just getting her hands on it as she goes deep right away. The shot is gonna hang, the receiver's underneath her, and she collects it as well.
Lacaille going for the revenge, but it's not gonna happen, and Petito makes the block to keep it out of the hands of PuTi as they chase down the end of this one.
PuTi seemed to stress the whole situation a lot, getting that shot off immediately and then searching for a receiver in the end zone so quickly. If you got it that far off near your end zone, just take a deep breath, get it in nice and tidy. And as I say tidy, the ground does its work again.
It is so difficult to maintain your footwork out here on the fields. Field 3 at this extended European Championship finals. Oh, but that is the goal. Eventually comes for PuTi, and I believe that's going to put us at a game to 15, regardless of the time cap. Soft cap is 15. I mean, stating the very obvious here on the stream. So I've said with quarter-final mixed action in front of us. Hannah Pendlebury and Christina Obermeier on the call. And this, I'm going to call it, Christina, I'm going to say it's going to take a miracle for Sesquidistus to bring this back. Could they do it? Theoretically, it's possible. But you've got to shut down PuTi for a long time, and they just don't seem flustered at all. There have been points where Sesquidistus have pulled it out of the mothering bag and getting up and making bids and blocks.
They have definitely been teased, PuTi, by Sesquidistus. They have gotten bits and pieces back, but they're just such a composed team. PuTi is that all their players are as good on offense as on defense. They just shut down so much of the Sesquidistus looks that, although I would love to see it, and I would love to see Sesquidistus get back in there and run them down, I think PuTi is just too composed now to let the game slip out of their hands again.
Do Sesquidistus have their tickets for the comeback train? It's a side stack, bringing us back in. Looking a little bit lost for options, finds the reset in Arsenal. Oh, another of those absolutely sensational inside flicks. Lavadu, far side, puts it back. Nice moving around the back. Nice knee slide, just making sure. Hoffman. Through to Monet. Again, coming in. Lavadu. Lavadu. Nice. Is that over the goal line? Players signaling the score. Nice patient work for the offensive set for this Strasbourg side.
Yeah, definitely a great look, that flick into the end zone, just putting it out there into space for the receiver to run under, and also to read that early enough to be able to jump in, because jumping into the end zone from that point is just able if you really know you securely have the disc in your hands.
So there we
See
go.
that shot again.
Absolutely. And it's the number 73, Eloise Aubry, with the score. Oh, my faux French accent nearly going into my English there. Connecting with each other. So this is go time for the D-line of Strasbourg, to state the very, very obvious. We've got some big players out there. We've seen a bunch of explosive bids, and I like that pull from the number 79, who's been taking the matchup of Essie Inkinen for the French, Justin Brou. Inkinen looking chill as it gets. Otari, far sides, centering again. Oh, look at the intensity on that Mark Leno. Nice shot through. Otari just looking chill. Inkinen down the far sideline. Travel's going to be called. Coming back to Tommy Sandberg, matching up with Etienne Michon, who got that posterizing bid earlier in the game.
Remember that one. Players are moving back to their positions as the travel was far before the throw.
Indeed, we got a very deep stack from PuTi, so lots of space on the unders, but perhaps pinching a little bit for their longs. Violation called.
Looking
Got to
for
remember with your violation to keep your keep the fists, very important. Correct hand signal.
Otherwise, it's signaling a goal too early. It could be at least.
Oh, and it's heavy pressure from Brou. And can it be? No, not quite. Essie Inkinen too calm, too composed. But look at this defense. Just manages to get one through, two through. Oh, and that is a huge slice through the center of the field, and PuTi do it. They are going to the semi-final. Commiserations from Sesquidistus. It was a great effort, but just that first half did it all. Too little, too late.
They definitely put up a real fight for PuTi at times. They had points that were so long and such good fights there. But in the end, PuTi showing that they are semi-finalists. They have definitely deserved to win this game. But Sesquidistus have teased them at points, have put up a fight. They will go to fifth, all the way to fifth place. I'm sure they will be a contender for that.
Well, we'll find out if the 5 to 12 bracket is going to get to play through the rest of their games. So it is definitely time to get ourselves onto the next game. We're going to have CUSB Shout coming up next on the field versus, I believe, if I'm thinking Valkyria. However, it has to be just quickly pop this little factoid in. Or not factoid, it's a fact. So PuTi, last time, 2019, they had a sudden death finish against Alice Bills in the semi-final. It's going to be revenge. Make sure you are there for the semi-final action in the mixed division. But right now, we're going to get off the stream and get right back in the action with KUSP versus Valkyria. Stay tuned.
ulti.TV.